Hello. All right, everyone. Let's get into it. Got a little time. Gonna have some fun. You know what? I gotta turn on the fan. 1 second. There we go. Oh, get some air circulating in here. It was a little too quiet without it. Alright, so I think really I just have to make sure. 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, spawn 5 rifts. Let's try Serenity 2. I hate how there's like a little delay sometimes here. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like I fixed the Serenity problem. Hey, Deegan. How's it going? Alright, let's get this fix out there. No one else has put forth any major... Oh, you know what? There was one thing. Let me take a look. Oh, where was it? Issues. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's right. Oh, goddamn crash report. Got years worth of crashes here. Hold on. You guys are killing me. Killing me. Alright, so there's my mod. Something to do with the cast bar. Line 415. Composed UI mana bar. Oh, it's with the mana bar. Interesting. Alright. Oh no, it's the player cast bar. Weird. Where is it? Okay, there's the cast bar, line 415. So someone got a crash here. Oh, my cat wants to leave. Hold on. I guess me talking is just too much for her. Too much. It's going. Just existing right now. Well, geez. I guess that's good. It's good. It's good to exist. Kind of be part of the world. I kind of feel similar. You know, today I was kind of, feel a little gray. I don't know what I want to eat. You know, I don't know. I think it's just because I'm tired. I've been up since 2 in the morning. I didn't get a lot of sleep. Just kind of laying there, tossing and turning. But I figured, I'll get on. I'll do something productive. So for whatever reason, this person is getting through. Crashing here. Weird. I mean, I guess I could do more checks. Because I could do something like if it's this. This does not equal null, right? Like what else am I gonna do here? Like I don't even know what more to do. I mean, we'll go one step further. Right, make sure code is not like you know what I mean? Like what more can I do? What more can I do? Oh man. Alright, good enough. Let's package this up. Package this up. There we go. Build it out. Hey Zalsecte! Ancient Domains of Mystery. That is a long name. Hey, how's it going? Alright. Just building everything here. We're good to go. Alright, Rustbound Magic. Incoming update. Gonna be an easy update. Oh yeah, I gotta pull up the site. And then I think what we're going to do is Maybe some of the Thaumcraft mod. Just kind of play around with it a little bit. Maybe make some stuff, right? Like, I have a whole bunch of, like, base items and stuff to make. A lot of things to do. Boop, magic mod. Why do I want to see the comments? Use the dig spell. Fix for lag issues. Use rubber band-aid. You could also trying to use a rubber band mod. Well, you can go through and make sure your game settings are good for the NVIDIA card you probably have. That, or don't run 100 mods on your system. I guess that or that. Alright, so that person answered, so awesome. I don't have to do anything there. This guy's playing an outdated version, so that person needs to update. Getting a gearless version of the hat for those sets. Yeah, I guess I could do that. That wouldn't be too bad. Wait, the Thaumcraft mod? Yes. So, you may not have been around, Deegan, so I feel like I'm reaching the end of the magic mod. Not really. I wouldn't say end. I would say it's becoming feature complete, and all the stuff, like, I have a lot of other mod ideas, they just don't fit with player mana and the systems that I currently have. And instead of, like, rewriting the mod again, right, because some things are set in stone, right, because I have a system for spells, and it's based on grimoires, and they're all static spells, so I can't really, unless I want to rip apart the mod, like, I can't make the modular spell system that I want to make. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of things that I kind of can't do because they're more Thaumcraft related. Yeah, Rustbound's based on Ars Magica. Thaumcraft's a very different system, exactly. And not only that, when I started off with the Magic mod, I have actually asked, I remember asking Tyron, right? Like, hey, what is the cap of watched attributes? And I got an answer where it's like, you can have as many as you want. I didn't know at the time, you know, like, what, a year ago, that if you have 10 of them on your player character, right, marked dirty at a time, then you know, it marks everything dirty globally. And that's been the cause for some of the issues people are having, right? Because you start adding more mods, we all share that 10 pool. You know, so it's kind of a big deal. So if I want to make a magic system that's more like Thaumcraft now, where it's not really your player magic, like, you don't have mana or anything, it's going to be more about, like, the ambient energy in the atmosphere. You know, it's going to be more scientific, it's going to be more device-driven. I think it's going to be fun, because I'm going to be using Thaumcraft in this one as, like, direct, like, it's going to have alchemy in it, like, it's going to be a big mod. It's going to be big. And I'm not sure what systems are going to work and what systems aren't going to work in this game. I think about things and I'm like, well, in Minecraft I know how to do it and I know how it works, but you know, this game's still in its infancy, so I kind of want to see what, you know, what the game can really do. And between the two, like, I love Ars Magica. But I think I love Ars Magica because it was the first mod that I really went with a magic mod. It was the one that, like, my friends and I decided as our primary magic mod. I'm the most familiar with it. The more I'm learning about Thaumcraft, the more I wish that we had given Thaumcraft a try on all of our servers instead of just sticking with Ars Magica. Because it seems like Thaumcraft looks pretty fucking cool. Not to mince words, but looks really, really awesome. So let's let's push out this update. Yeah, and like I said too, with the magic mod, like, it's not done being developed, but for now, it's pretty feature complete. I have like 267 spells in the game. You know what I mean? You got the gateway system. You got, you know, there's a lot of things. You know, the way the spellcasting system is, like, everything's pretty solid. There we go, and we fixed an issue with Serenity 2 not dropping Rift charges. There we go. Perfect. There you go. There's your update. But yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying you were going to be updating Thaumcraft for Minecraft. No, I'm gonna make my own version of it. That's what I'm gonna be doing. A lot of the stuff too, I'm sitting there, right? I'm like, okay, let me look at like the aspect system and stuff, because that's the kind of system I want. And I was looking up like words. I pulled out like a Latin translator, and I'm like, all right, give me fire, give me water, give me air. And I'm looking, I'm like, holy shit, these names are all the same as like the Thaumcraft ones. So I think because Latin was gonna be the main language that I use for Thaumcraft, I think we're gonna end up with a lot of similarities. Because like I'm gonna use the Latin language too. All right, there you guys go. All right, so let's close this out. And Rustbound Thaumaturgy. Pull this one up here. Not really a lot has been done. I was on the road a lot yesterday, pretty much for the whole day. And I haven't had a lot of time today as well to do anything. I was going to work on it and decided to stream it. We will hop in. Grand Stompcraft has always been a tech mod, cleverly disguised as a magic mod, complete with toxic waste as a byproduct. I'm also a fan of the flavor of blood magic. Nice. Yeah. I was looking at blood magic. A lot of the stuff, like a lot of the rituals and stuff, I was looking, I'm like, I don't really see the allure of it. Like, honestly. Like, it just seems like it's all about getting the most, like a life generation, or, you know, whatever that is, right? Setting it up for whatever the optimum, you know, optimum bench, I guess, setup. One of my favorites was somewhere between Eldian and Hexery for magic mods. I haven't heard of either of those. I mean, if there are other mods out there, like that's the beautiful part of like doing something like this, because I could cherry pick the systems that I think would work together and make them. What I actually was doing while I ended up bringing my laptop yesterday, so I started to do some stuff. I didn't have, like, you know, uninterrupted time at the Barnes & Noble I was sitting in, but I started to create enums, and the big one would be the Viz Aspects enum. So I started to kind of really run with like what kind of aspects I would expect to use. And really it's just keywords, you know, what it comes down to. So I at least got that going. So far, only a couple of things. I made Orichalcum. That's going to be one of the metals in here. I want to come up with another kind of metal. This is Cinnabar right now, but I gave it it just has a random model, because I'm not sure how I'm going to handle ores. I know this. I do not want World Gen. There's not going to be any kind of World Gen, so I'm not sure if I'm going to have, like, Cinnabar ore drop from, like, maybe ore that you mine already, and have it just, like, tag along. So, like, if you start mining copper or iron, maybe lapis, you know what I mean? There'll be, like, a % chance to get Cinnabar. On on top of Cinnabar, because again, like I was looking into like actual like alchemy, and turns out that Cinnabar was actually something that, you know, the older alchemists would like, because you heat it up, and that's how they discovered mercury, or as they called it, quicksilver. Right? So it kind of gave people hope to eventually be able to reach the holy grail of being able to change, you know, like lead to gold. You know, the holy grail. So I'm going to be using quicksilver as well, and you'll melt it down from Cinnabar. But this is, right now, it's about like, okay, what kind of stuff? Like, I'm going to need wands, a staff, I'm going to have a scepter. They're going to be focus, you know, like I'm going to have the whole focus system, so you can like attach them to your wands and stuff to be able to cast your spells. Your focus, it's going to be a system where you will be able to pick an effect. So you'll be able to pick from... Oh, actually, and I need to make enums for this stuff. So let's do that right now. Here, let me save and quit. Should not really be an issue. The terminology and even the name Thaumcraft also exists in several tabletop games. Yeah, that's what I was kind of looking to. I'm like, oh, this is kind of, you know, it's kind of generic. So I feel less guilty about using stuff. Some overlap between Blood Magic and Rustbound, so we don't really need that in VS. The magic sacrificing requirement is really not possible with the VS spawning mechanics. Yeah. Oh, could you add a compatibility for Meteoric Steel? I'm not sure how to do compatibilities, so if maybe, but that's not going to be part of the base game. Or the base mod. I would be creating my own metals, like my own version of a Void Metal, or Thaumium Metal, or whatever it is. Cinnabar could be a resource you extract from other resources using alchemy. That's true. See, and I don't know how I'm going to have you explore the world either. I don't want a thermometer. I feel like that is a very, very in-depth system by itself. Be able to, like, you know, scan every damn thing in existence, even from other mods. Like, it's nice if you're working on with, like, a team of people and you can divvy up some of the work. I'm the only guy that's going to be working on this, you know? So I gotta scope things appropriately. So I'm not sure how that's going to pan out yet. But we'll figure it out. Alright, so this is going to be, I will say, spell... Let me pull up my notes. I had a lot of this stuff written down. That's all I pretty much had was, like, text documents at my disposal yesterday. Rustbound Thaumaturgy. Ideas and notes. Here we go. So I could say spell... I'll do modular spell. Modular spell, I could do just like part 1. And this is going to be about mobility. So let me get rid of all of this. Boop. So what are we going to have? There's going to be self, and this is going to all be like modes of transport, right? Basic magic metals being orichalcum, mithril, and animantite. Perhaps you can make them alloy smelts? Maybe. I think there's gonna be, like, there's gonna have to be something in the beginning, right? Like, and I think orichalcum's gonna be your first one, because really, like, looking at Atlantis, you know, their mythical metal was orichalcum. And really what we think it is now was just a purified form of, like, what was it, like bronze or copper or something, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't exactly a magic metal as it was just, you know, a refined metal that they probably used a lot of. Thermometer system was one of the major holdups for updating the mod and caused serious delays even with the team. Yeah, I looked at that and I'm like, it's a cool concept, but goddamn is that overly complex. And how do I do compatibility with, like, other mods without manually having to put in entries for everyone's blocks? Like, I'm not doing that. There's no way I'm doing that. But there's probably a way, a better way to maybe do things like that, right? Like, you know, like, I want the heart of the mod. You don't have to sit there and necessarily scan everything and like that, right? There's probably another system in there that can kind of get the job done without it being demanding. But we'll have to see. We will have to see. So what do we got here? We got self. Where are my ideas? Here we go. Right, so you're gonna have self. So like self heal. There's gonna be touch, projectile. And I think and bolt. We'll do bolt as well. So projectile's gonna be like a slow-moving orb, right? Like what you would think like a regular spell would be, and a bolt would probably be a very long distance. I'll put in like a long distance projectile. I'll do long distance / fast projectile. This will be more of a shorter range slower moving projectile. If anything, bolt may be an upgrade to projectile. There's going to be an AoE, right? Cloud. There'll be like a trap, right? And that's going to be like mines. So something that you would like spawn on the ground. And then the mythical beam. And I just have none in there just because. I will get rid of the summary for this. This doesn't necessarily need a summary. Alright, we're going to save that. Going to copy this. Paste in the new name. We're going to copy and paste that one. And this one's going to be part 2. I'll probably come up with a better name for these once I have them, like, you know, mapped out a little better. And then, really, this one's going to be the effect itself, right? This is the effect itself. So this is going to be something like fire. And for fire, we'll say, like, burns target. Or instead of burns target, we'll just say, like, fire damage. I'll do, like, part 3... sets things on fire using duration modifier. I'll just say, like, if no modifier will not set things on fire. I'm letting you burn your house down if you're stupid with magic. Yeah, brass, that's what it was. That's what it was. Which is like copper, you know. Or calcum is probably brass because of the lack of corrosion. Yeah. That's what it is. Alright, so let's see. We got fire. There's going to be frost, of course. This is going to be, of course, like ice damage. You know, I'm not going to call it frost. Call it ice. Right, this is going to be ice damage, cold damage. Part 3 slows down target. There we go. The next thing, lightning. Or should I do electric? Just to kind of change the names up a little bit, right? So people aren't like, well, I got a frost spell, why doesn't it work with the magic mod? Ice, electric. This will be like, what? Electric damage, obviously. Part 3, chance to stun target, right? For now, I'll have those be attacking spells. I'll expand on this a lot later. But I need some things in here, right? So let's put a divider up. And let's put in heal. Heal is going to restore HP, right? That one's pretty simple. I'm going to put another little divider in. I'm not sure if there's any other things in here. Maybe I can put in revive. Of course, it could be brings target back to life. Go. I think that's good there. Let's start getting into obscure things, right? Like break. Break is gonna be, well, destroying blocks. Right, that's going to be destroying blocks. I think I have to do breaking because it sees break as something else, which is stupid as hell. But breaking. Exchange. This will swap blocks with inventory block. Right, so you could do like a block swap. There was also orbs, which casted 3 orbs that orbited around you and activated on hit. See, I'm not sure if I'm gonna put that kind of stuff in, because I'm not sure if the game is gonna handle it without crapping itself. So, I mean, it seems like it barely handles a projectile in its current state. So, I gotta be careful with what I do, and also, I'm not sure how it's going to work with the client-server desync that seems to happen a lot. You know what I mean? Because, like, it would have to track your specific player movement, and you can't collide with your own projectiles. Like, that one's kind of a loaded one. And I can always expand these. I just need things to work with now, while I build out a system that would take these together to cast a spell, right? That would be like the focus. But without having things in here and things defined, I can't build a modular spell system. We'll get there. We'll get there. Eventually. We always get there. Let's put one more thing in. Rift. I'll just say, like, Link, spell, and portal spells. I may end up separating this out into 2 different things. But for now, that's at least stuff in the enum here. We're going to make a part 3 for the enum. This one's going to be modifier. And actually, I don't have to put in part 3. I can just do modifiers. Copy. Paste. Go. Get rid of all of this. I'm only going to put a few modifiers in. We'll put in some basics, right? So, like, power. I mean, that's your potency. Instead of potency, I'll just say, like, increases damage. Range. Extends the range. Right? This stuff's on the nose. And then we got duration. There we go, we'll do 3 of them. This will be length of effect, I guess. This may end up changing once I start fleshing it out a little bit more. Orbs could translate to abortive magic armor, basically adding temporary health that makes it before it takes from the character. Ah, I got you. Some type of mending spell? Mending as in a spell that fixes something? The only mending Thaumcraft had was a way to add the vanilla mending enchantment so its gear items using an advanced structure. Oh, so like a self-repair kind of system. I don't know. We'll leave it as is right now, because some of that stuff is going to be... Because remember, this isn't going to be more, like, magic. You're also going to have magic equipment as well. So a mending kind of effect would be something that you would put on, like, your journeyman's boots, right? Your run speed boots, or your... You know, your Sword of the Zephyr. You know what I mean? Like, something with, like, auto-mend on it. Something like your wand would have that. Not necessarily the focus itself. Right, because it would be something from the wand itself. Alright, and I gotta come up with better names for these, but I'll brainstorm it later. I have so much to make in this mod right now. So much to make. We got Amber, we got Quicksilver. I have a generic item that I can start pushing items out in. Let's go ahead and do a copy and paste. Let's go into Tools. I will say, spell casting. We'll make a spell casting variant here. And I'm gonna want a wand. Copy, paste, paste. I want a wand, a scepter. Oh, I gotta find out how to spell scepter. Scepter. Is that really how you... Yeah. It just looks so weird to me. I don't know why my brain doesn't see it as right. So it's Sceptre. Just looks so weird to me. Scepter. Yeah, and ornamented staff or rod primarily used for emblem of authority or sovereign. Alright, so we got that. And then I'll give you a full-blown staff. I think that's going to be plenty of variety. In here, this is, of course, the wand is going to be your major item. That's going to be what you use the most. The other ones, I'll probably have some kind of discount for them. And they may be more combat related in their own aspects. But I think your wand is going to be your primary thing, like when you do Golomancy and stuff, right? Your wand's going to be the main, like, interaction item. Staff. Copy, paste, and paste. There we go. I'll get rid of all that stuff. Save. Scepter. I am copying and pasting it. I'm not even gonna try. It still looks wrong to me. I feel like I've spelt it wrong. Maybe. Build. But for VS, like, I see something closer to what you have for the Mage Armor and Rustbound. Use a crafted item to fix gear. Only real use for mending would be for tools that just wear out and disappear. Yeah, that's the one thing I really don't like about VS, is that like armor stays forever. I think that was a bad concept. It just feels bad. You got this armor, it's like, oh, I make it once and I never have to make it again, because even if I'm lazy with it, I just repair it. You know, like, I felt like Minecraft, it felt better. Like, I felt more inclined to put on any armor I could find. Because not only did I feel the benefit of it, even if it was just, like, leather boots that were enchanted with something, right? Like, I would still put them on, and there was, like, a sense of, like, I had to watch my equipment, because if it went too low, then it would disappear, right? I'd be out of it. I just don't like the vintage story one, and I get that they made it to where the armor doesn't disappear because of how hard it is to, like, all the resources it takes. Just make it cost less resources. You know what I mean? Like, the other way just feels crappy. You know, you shouldn't have in a game like a whole chest full of old armor that you can't do anything with because it's not. It was a stepping stone, and there's a lot of armors that you don't even make. You know, it's like you got like what 2 or 3 solid armor choices in the whole game, and that's it. It kind of sucks. But I think they're making improvements. Like, I think wood armor is actually worth something a little bit now. You know, you at least feel like you have something on. But yeah. Wand, staff, scepter. Wand was multi-purpose. Staff was casting. Scepter was crafting only. Interesting. Scepter crafting only? Maybe I'll adopt the same kind of thing. Staff was casting only. Yeah. We may end up doing the same thing. So wand may be like the common kind of stuff that you would be using. Scepter may be for, I don't know, like the infusion and maybe marking stuff. You know, like the infusion crafting I want to add in. Yeah, then the staff is going to be like pure pew-pew, baby. Pure pew-pew. Alright, so for these 3 items, I need to register these so I don't forget. Let's go into items. Get rid of the whole Quicksilver part. Copy, paste, paste. Alright, this is going to be wand. Wand. This is going to be scepter. Did I spell it right? Okay, good, I did. There we go, and this is going to be staff. Perfect. Let's go ahead and actually make these items as well. Copy, tools, paste. Cancel, copy, paste, paste. So this is going to be, I'll just put in like tool, wand. Anywhere you see the Viz crystal, make it tool wand. And I guess I could say, for now I'm just gonna have like a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. I'll come up with better names. I'm gonna have 3 levels of potency. Get rid of the skip there. Alright, items. It's going to be items, tools, tool wand. I don't have a model for it yet. I will skip past this. Stack size, 1. Material density is fine. It's going to sink. Shelvable, display caseable. Alright, save. It's not going to be the drifter tier. This is going to be item... Wand RT. And actually, let's go ahead and delete these 2. Copy this. All right, I'm not gonna spell scepter again. I refuse. There we go. Scepter. Perfect. He's so smart. Look at this guy spelling like a pro. Alright. Paste. There'll be a tier 2 and 3 of that. Actually, you know what? There won't be. There's only going to be a tier 1 and 2, I believe. Which means I can Get rid of that. Copy, paste. This is going to be staff. I see there's some chat I'm missing here. I'll get to it in one moment. I don't want to stop halfway through. Whoops. There are those two things. So it's only going to have a tier 1 and 2 as well. This is going to have to take staff. This is going to have to take SCEPTRE. Scepter. There we go. Alright, let's build and hop back in. Boop. It was described as a size thing. Scepter was good size for fitting in the crafting station, but the wrong shape for spell cap things. And the staff was too big for the crafting station, but shaped to fit the item for spell casting. Yeah, the focus. Yeah. That makes sense. I like that. And I will probably use that. Hello, Red Bull commercial. They must think I like the beverage. They're not wrong, but I loathe all commercials. Yeah, commercials are kinda... yeah. Ads suck. Because it's rarely ever... I've never really, like, seen an ad and thought, like, oh, I kinda want to buy that now. It actually makes me, like, not buy things. It has the opposite effect. Because I don't ever feel like I'm being manipulated. And when I see an ad, I know what they want me to do, and I got a problem with that. Funny enough, I actually... and it's funny with this way, too, but I kind of cut out soda for a particular reason. Usually, like, I normally don't watch TV, but whenever I see, like, a commercial for, like, a Pepsi or Coke, like, I usually end up, like, if I hate the commercial, I end up like abandoning the drink for a long time. So I've kind of abandoned all soda at this point. Like, don't you try to sell me. I'll come to you when I want to buy something. Alright. So we have various tools, scepters, and staves. We got Amber, which I was working on a little while ago. We have the Viz crystals. You know what? Let's make a basic model for the Viz crystal. You're going to be using quartz in this mod. Probably a lot. Vintage Story generates like freaking mountains of quartz. So you'll be using it. You'll be using it for glass vials and stuff. So let me go down to shapes. Items, resource. I'm just going to copy and paste Amber. We will put in this crystal. Let's open up the model creator. File open. It's not going to be like this. It's going to be pretty simple. Delete it all. Scorched Earth. Save. Create something new. I always like to put in something that's an origin. There we go. Origin. Origin is always kind of centered here. 880. And then I stack everything in this particular origin. So I could call this body -1. There's not going to be much to this. It's actually going to be super freaking primitive. It'll be really primitive. 1 2 1 2 1 2. We're going to move this towards the center. And all I'm going to do is a couple rotations. We will pop this in at a 45-degree angle. And then I'm going to pop it into another 45-degree angle. You know, I can't do 45, 45, 45. I think what I need to do, because this model creator is kind of meh, I'm going to duplicate this zero it out, stack it. This is going to become underscore origin 2. Right, that way it keeps it, and then this one should have everything zeroed out, right? So now I can look and see, or better yet, duplicate, let's put that in here, right? So that's 45 degrees. And everything here is now 0. Alright, so what I could do is I'm going to 0 that out. And then... Crap, I feel like I'm doing this wrong. Because I need one to be, like, solid, right? So this is going to be... like 45 degrees here. And then this one going to be, you know what I'm trying to make, right? I'm trying to make like a diamond shape right now. And then this one, I just want to make like a cube shape, like a diamond shape. This is not working out well. This is not as nice as I thought it would be. so this is basically where we're at with all this. All right, let's just hold on. Let's just start from here. Oh wait, this isn't even in the center. That could be a little bit of an issue. Actually, you know, technically that doesn't need to be in the center. This one does. So let's pump that there. And then in here, I'm just gonna manually do it by looking at the lines here, right? So let's center this. I think this just needs to be 0. No, it can't be 0 exactly. So the point needs to kind of be in the center. You know, I think that's actually pretty good like that. And then I could take this whole thing and duplicate it. There we go. That's kind of the shape that I was looking for. It's still a little off. You can see it's kind of making like a zigzag pattern here, which means that I got the angle a little wrong. But overall, I think that's going to be a decent shape. So I'm going to stack that into the origin. Let's bump it up. There we go. It could dig into the ground a little bit when you throw it in the ground. Alright, so anything... We got some nulls here. Whoops. There we go. Let's do that. Anywhere you see pound null, make it pound material 1. Select this, only material 1. Alright, and then everywhere else you see null, let's make it default. Go. That could be the rest of it. Save. That way it doesn't act weird when you put it on a shelf. For ViesCraft, different combinations of wood wand caps made for different mana storage. The rarer the cap, the better. Basic wood, great wood, silver wood in that order were major tiers. The tiers it used for caps were based on iron, gold, and I want to do the same kind of thing there. I didn't know it was I didn't know great wood was less than silver wood, because you could find silver wood pretty easily. And I also thought that the caps, so you could have like a silver wood with iron caps. Am I thinking right with that? It does give me an aversion to the product because it interrupts my chosen entertainment. Yeah, right? Same thing. I feel the same way. Thaumcraft was actually my first Magic mod, but I also played the crap out of ours. Occurred to me that the wand, etc. were actually modular, so after the basic iron cap stick, you could mix and match. Really? Iron was only available for the basic wood wand. So then what if you had a silver wood? Like, if you had silver wood, did you need thaumium caps? Is that how it worked? Alright, let's build, hop back in the game. Hop back into creative. Oh, I should have made some textures before we did this. Okay, so resources. Items, resources, add. Yeah, because I can't make new folders or anything. Here we go. Let's make a new folder. Let's say Viz. Crystals. Copy, paste. And then this is going to be something like AER. We'll just put one singular picture there. There you go. Just something basic. Okay, now let's build. Let me go into the crystal. There it is. So this is going to be, I gotta pop the new shape in, so it's gonna be items, resources, and then it's gonna be Viz Crystal. For this, it's going to be material 1. That will be items, resources, Viz Crystal. And then I can put in the aspect. So I can get rid of the other mappings. And I need to make this singular. There we go, Viz Crystal. You know what? I'll make it plural just because everything else is plural. I know my OCD's gonna make me do this anyways. Pop an S in there, and I just gotta pop an S there. There we go. Alright, let's see what this looks like. A silverwood, you could use gold or thaumium, with thaumium being better. But you said you could use 1 gold and 1 thaumium? Like a cap on each end, like a different cap on each end? Not sure if I'm gonna go that deep with it, if that's the case. One of the other things that delayed Thaumcraft updates was they would nearly always add compatibility for metals that were added by other mods to let them be used in things like wand caps, but that's feature bloat. Yeah, I'm staying away from feature bloat right now. So at least we have a basic shape here. Let's pull one of these out. .pf edit. I think that's good right there. We can zero this out. No sense making it that high. 151. Yeah, that's what I thought. Zeroing all that out is more than enough. I could pop a 0 on this. So this is kind of default. Actually, 1, 2, 3, and 1. That is the default setting there, and if you can see, it does center it a bit. But I think if I do a 1, 2, 5, that sits a little lower. Let's just do a 1, 5. 7, 5. I think 1, 7, 5 would do the trick. Let's copy that. And I want to say, I think it's called rotate. It's either rotate or rotation. Both caps had to match. You can mix and match a cap type with wood type. Oh, that's right. Okay, because I was going to say, like, I don't think I'll do that. You'll have to have both the same cap. Yeah, see, now that I put in rotate, it actually spins when you hover over it. At least in the pop-up. I kind of want that in the crystal. All right. But that is a very, very basic crystal. And they're all going to do it. So I got Aqua, Ignis, Glacius, Lux, and Tenebra. So really, all I did was just put in air, water, fire, earth, lightning, or electric, ice, light, and dark. For the basic, just to have some items in. I have to touch the, when you mix and match, okay, I have to touch the CDO and I appetize it, because it amuses me. Yeah, I got you. Love the rotating effect, right? It's gonna be good. It's gonna be little touches like that, I think, are gonna help. Alright, so let me think about, I mean, I could rapid fire a bunch of textures in here. I have a touch of OCD. I do too. It's not bad. Like, I don't have to, when I leave a room, flip the light switch 3 times or anything like that. But little things kind of get to me. If I see like an extra space somewhere, it kind of gives me pause. Which is great for programming, but, you know, kind of annoys me when I see like a coworker presenting something. They have something written up and I'm like, why do you have 2 spaces there? They're aware. Like, see between the word, 5th line down, halfway through. See? I didn't even see that. I know. Can you remove it? Alright, so let's put in Aqua. And better yet, I'm just going to pull up all of my aspects. I made a world property. So we got that. We're going to have Ignis. Terra. Vulgar. Glacius. I need to copy and paste again. This is going to be Lux. This is going to be Tenebra. For now, the colors are all kind of the same. You know what? This isn't going to be the texture here. But I will at least try. Do kind of black and white. Mess with the curves a bit. Pop it with a little more white. There we go. That is air, aqua. Gonna turn it a nice blue. Nah, I'm not gonna mess with it being vivid. There we go. Again, just shotgunning all this stuff in. Lightning, I'm just opening the rest here. For Lux, I'm going to make this brighter. Just like that. Save, which means this probably needs to be darker instead of lighter. Gonna make it more of a darker color. This is going to be electricity, so let's go ahead and give it yellow. Make it more vivid. I don't like that. Let's make it a little darker. Now let me go into here. There we go. Just want to make sure I don't have like green in there. Glacius, let's go ahead and there we go. Make it like that. Bam. Ignis. I spit that hot fire. There we go. Make it nice and red. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like it. Hold on. Let's go back in here. Okay, I like that. It was too vivid. That's Lux Tenebra. Ooh. So let's go ahead and make this black and white. And really beat it down with its coloration. Terra, Hoop Brown. All right. Well, let's go with, actually, Amber's pretty good. Gonna take out some of the saturation. And we're gonna go into curves, and I'm gonna tone it down. Make it a little darker. And then we'll go back into here. Actually, I think that's pretty good. For dirt. Alright, so we got new colors. Build. Stupid ADHD getting ahead of me in words I actually want. I check ovens and stove burners about a dozen times and the lock doors after I close it every time. I do things like that too. Like I know I do it. Like I'll lock both doors, and then like I'll get up, you know, because it's nighttime, right? And I'll check again. I'm like, I know it's locked, but I just want to feel it, right? I just need to feel it. And then, like, before bed, you know, like, a couple hours later, I'll check again, even though I checked 2 other times. There we go. So we got various rotating crystals here. Figured I'm fortunate with that impulse. Cool. Alright. So let's start looking at some other things here. Quicksilver. Quicksilver. It's honestly, it's gonna be like a bead of, I think I know what Quicksilver is going to be. Copy paste. Let's make this Quicksilver. Anywhere you see this, F. Oh, cancel. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Let's just make it default material 1. Same thing in here. Because I am going to modify them. They're both going to be a little different. For amber, make this material 1. Pull up Quicksilver. This is going to be items, resources, Quicksilver. Get rid of that. This is going to be material 1. I do need to make a texture for... Do I have to? I could probably just piggyback off of the game's silver texture. No, you know what? I gotta make my own. I think I'm gonna have to make my... Because I want it to be a little brighter and a little lighter than silver. Assets, survival, textures, block, metal, ingot. Pull up silver. There's silver solder and there's silver. Copy. I actually use the platinum. It looks like it's a better silver. Copy. Textures, items, resources, paste. All this. Quicksilver. So that's going to be items, resources, Quicksilver. There we go. Save. Build. There we go. Hop off of loop, hero. You know, thinking about it, I check ovens a lot too. I check my oven a lot too. Sometimes I'll go up, because my oven's older too, so I'll just kind of wiggle the knob just to make sure it's in the off position. There's like a loose kind of give if it's truly off. I also, you know, I don't trust the little lights on there, but thinking about it, like, I kind of do that too. Alright, so .tf edit. Kind of shrink it down a little bit. Actually, it doesn't look that bad. Kind of hit it from an angle here. I guess that's not bad. That's centered a bit. A 125, that looks pretty good. And why not? Copy. This is all rough draft anyways. Once I have something like playable, then I can always come back and do this right. But honestly, not that bad. Yeah, sure, you could stack this up to 64, why not? I hate when it, like, drag your window here. Like, get the fuck away from me. Stop. Stop, computer. Stop trying to be helpful. I know what I'm doing. Here's Quicksilver. I don't like the throne bait. Let's see, Amber. Copy. Paste. That is better. I still gotta shrink it here. But it is better. Looks like it's connected all right. Yeah, that looks all right. A little something right there. Overall, though, not bad. Sweet. All right, let me get some more in here. .tf edit. Let's just go into display case. I just gotta shrink this down by like 50%. Copy JSON. Paste. Copy. Paste. There we go. Alright, that looks like it's sitting pretty well. Which means I probably want to copy this whole thing. Let's bring it over to Amber. They're basically the same item for now. I think I'll make Amber a little more, I'll make Quicksilver a little more circular. And Amber will become a little more elongated. There we go. It's good enough. Gotta do the same thing with this. Alright, alright. Let's just do it. I think it'll be about the same thing, right? Like 0.5, get rid of that. Yeah, you know, let's just say it's going to be about the same thing. Which means I could copy this onto the Viz crystals and paste. Reload. Good enough. I'll probably end up tipping those on the side so you don't sit them down on a point. Pull out a couple more. Good enough. Let's start doing some localization. Get rid of those. Actually, I could just have this Amber. Quicksilver. Copy, paste. Gonna be a Viz Crystal. I have an idea. I'm not going to put in separate things for the Viz Crystal. Like, I could, but I feel like it's not needed. Because I'm going to be using Viz a lot. Alright, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to save that. Fireball it in. Let's do a dot reload lang. There you go. Quicksilver, amber, and right, all these are Viz crystals. Now let's go into, oh boy. Because I figured this out in the magic mod. This get held item name. Boop. Alright, let's go into... I don't have it open. Item. Oh crap, I never made one with the Viz crystal. Ha! Copy paste. Alright, let's shut down the game. Viz crystal. Totally messed that one up. There we go. Paste, paste, paste. Let's register this. There we go. Copy, paste. Cut. There we go. Save, and now copy this. This should be item resource. Item resource. Item resource. Whoops. There we go. Yep. Tell me where I need to re-import this. Please and thank you. There we go. Ah, so it's all in here. There we go. And I need to copy this. We need to go into the Viz crystal here. Oh yeah, I was still calling Drifter tier. There are no Drifter tiers in this mod right now. Oh crap, I forgot to copy that method. Alright, need to shut down one more time. Because I gotta copy this method over. Okay, where is it? This crystal. Paste. This is going to be RM. It's not RM, it's RT. And I'm going to actually just get rid of all of that. And I will put in manual stuff. There we go, just like that. Instead of armor type, we'll just say aspect type. That's really what it is. I don't need that statement. Let me get rid of that. I'll keep this. I'm not sure if I'm going to want to do any kind of coloration on the name. But I will say, oh man, this isn't going to be part of a GUI. This is kind of more of a, like, a basic name. Brrr. I'm going to get rid of all of that. And I will say item stack dot. Come on, I want item stack dot collectible dot code. Instead of code, I want first code part. Actually, better yet, let's get last code part 0. Yeah, go ahead and stop. I know. Now in here, I can localize all this stuff one time and I should be good. But where am I going to put it? I'm going to make a new section. Miscellaneous section. And this is going to be something like this, right? That way other people can translate this stuff out. So let me look at this, right? So we have air. I'm just gonna get rid of that. Copy, paste, 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 paste. So we're gonna have aqua. We're gonna have ignis. And that way I can call these in different parts of like references and stuff, and this part of the name will already be localized. So I'm saving localization key entries here. Because this is also going to be like the, you know, the material itself. Or the, you know, the viz, the energy. And that's what viz is in Latin. It's another name for its energy. Glacius. Gonna be Lux. Tenebra. Go. All right. Let's check the fruits of my labor. I gotta make dinner soon. Looking pretty good. I gotta put a space in there. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Boop. There we go. And then the more I make, I can just add on to the list, add a localization key, and I'm good to go. I gotta consider, I'm probably gonna have magic wood. Which means I have to look at that janky-ass freaking tree spawning crap. And I gotta figure out, am I gonna have nodes, or is Viz gonna be per chunk? I don't know. So what kind of woods do I want? What type of wood? I like the name Whisperwood. And then maybe I can have a more magical wood. You don't necessarily need tree spawning if you use alchemy or enchanting to create the saplings. Well, yeah, I do, because the saplings have to grow up into a tree, right? So that's what I'm talking about. All of that is in World Gen, unfortunately. So I don't have to have it in World Gen, but it does need a hook into World Gen, to where when that sapling grows, it grows into whatever the tree shape's going to be. Yeah. I think Whisperwood is going to be one thing. So let's start making it. Let's start making it. Resource, I guess will be a resource. Why don't I make a folder for this? I'll just say plant. Plants. Copy, paste. Right, so this is going to be Whisperwood. I'm gonna need logs, planks, like, I'm gonna have to have all the stuff. Staff cores, right? Like the wand cores and stuff. Yeah. Good point, forgot that aspect. I'd use aspen for the silverwood analog, and oak shape for greatwood analog, if you use both. Yeah, I probably will use both. It kind of makes sense, right? So I could have any wood, like, tier 1, and then the Whisperwood could be tier 2, and then whatever the tier 3 wood I come up with, that, and that could be like a tier 3. And maybe use that more alchemically. Like, maybe I'll have something minor you could do to a sapling to change it to a Whisperwood sapling. Maybe by infusing different viz in it or something. I don't know. I'll figure that part out. But I can have, I can have it be, like, staged. But I gotta figure out, am I going to have nodes? Or is this going to be a chunk kind of thing for the viz? Because I do want to create that system next, after I create all these basic items. And then start creating, like, with some noise generation. See, I wish Vintage Story had, I wish it had biomes, like Minecraft. Because then I could create my own biome that could magically show up, like my own kind of magic forest, and then have it to where within that biome, the viz rates would be higher. Because right now it's just going to be blanket, right? Like, you'll have to find a high spot by walking upon it. Yeah, I can't think of another good wood name. I'll come up with something, though. Zamana, hey, how's it going? So, do I... Gosh, making the wood planks and everything, I'm just gonna set this to false for now. I just wanted to reserve the name Whisperwood in there. So I got my crystals, some basic crystals, quicksilver, amber. I need a way... Okay, so right now I have cinnabar ore. I'm thinking I don't want this to be an ore item. I think what you'll do is you will mine things and you will have a certain % chance to also get cinnabar from mining whatever, you know, your copper, your lead, you know, maybe, and maybe the more valuable it is, the higher chance you'll get cinnabar. Although I'll probably do more research and see how, like, what other metals cinnabar comes with. If it's something like, yeah, you see it a lot with galena, which is lead, then I can tie it into those, right? So I don't think I'm gonna need the actual ore block. It's a shame. Just got up? Man, it's like 5:10 p.m. here. You're probably in a different part of the world. Let's get rid of these. I can start pruning out some of the old stuff. Like, I could prune those out. Prune those out. And really, I just have my items. My aspects. Get rid of these. Recipes, grid. Let's get rid of those recipes. I will keep this patch for now. And I think everything else... let's set this to false. Alright, let's hop in, make sure things are kind of working. I still need... I have orichalcum. I need another kind of ore. I don't want to call it, like, void metal, right? But it's going to be something... I'm going to need, like, a thaumium kind of metal as well. So I'm thinking 2 more metals are going to be created. Alright, let's hop in. Just on a weird schedule, catching up on sleep. Oh, okay, I got you. I do use the mod that fixes the ore bloat in VS. All iron ore breaks into the same thing, regardless of ore stone name. Alright. I hate the stack bloat. Makes my storage far too messy. I gotcha. I wonder, are there any mods out there that use orichalcum right now? Kind of wonder if I'm going to run into something where people are like, I'm trying to use orichalcum, and it's not working, because they're using, like, you know, some other mod's orichalcum instead of mine. Let me in. Let me go into Quicksilver. File open. Quicksilver open. I want to delete that. And get rid of that. Alright, let's reload again. Stack bloat equals bugs is the OCD. And I don't know if a mod uses that name, if there is one that does magic metals, but they are completely made up names. Okay, good. It was just more like a spot check. Like, I'll have to really look. I know there's one that uses, like, adamantite, and I know there's one that makes mithril. So I see I gotta be careful, because a mod like that, where it, like, converts it all into one item, well, what is that one item? And is it going to work with my mod, right? If I'm looking for specific things. You know, if I'm looking for, like, you know, ingot of mithril with my domain, or, you know, a domain that I would be expecting, you know what I mean? Like, what is that mod going to do? Is it gonna break the you know, this magic mod? Probably. I got some more calcum already. Alright, that's looking decent. I can come up with item descriptions later. Okay. And let me just double check here. So I have errors coming up on the wand, scepter, and staff because of the shapes, which that makes sense. Assets. Okay, so it's just those three now that are these that are giving me problems, which is fine. I will probably create a basic scepter, wand, and staff model just to have something in here. I probably should consider what kind of metals you are going to be using for a cap. Let's look at ingots. Meteoric iron, I feel, has to be one of them. Orichalcum, meteoric iron, and then something, not copper. Maybe I will have iron. Or how hard is it to get copper nickel? Although my orichalcum could be a stand-in for it. Right, because orichalcum's pretty much brass. Right? But it's going to be my version of brass. Maybe I shouldn't use orichalcum. Maybe I should come up with my own made-up names for stuff. Just to guarantee that I'm not going to have any problems down the road. So maybe for tier 1 wood, it's going to be this as a cap. And whatever, we'll just use a board for now, right? So it'd be something like oak and then the cap. Unless maybe I should just make it iron. Maybe, but then if I make it iron, it means that you have to be really deep in game progression to even start the magic. And I don't want to make it copper because that's a cop out. So maybe it could be like my orichalcum. Totally understand. When we get to many ore metals overlap with mods, we get mods that predict them all in compatible resources. But that adds more mods you need if you want multiple ore metal gen mods. Yeah, I don't need to add to the complexity of things. Meteoric iron definitely needs to be in there. Let's get another kind of... Let's get 2 other boards here. Let's just say we'll use like ebony, and then I'll just use the purple one, just so there are 3 different. So this would be my whisper wood. This would be like whatever my tier 3 would be. So you'd have tier 1, 2, and 3 of these items. It wouldn't be a board. You would be creating a core, like a wand core for these. And then you would put the caps on each end, right? Meteoric iron, though. Meteoric iron. Bronze cap, the tin copper alloy. I don't know. Because I'm thinking, like, do I even want to use the base game's metals at all? Because if I use any of the base game metals, it locks magic into VS progression. And one thing I've learned from my magic mod is that there are either people that are super, super pro at, like, speedrunning VS, and there's those other people being like, oh, I can't get... Why is copper a requirement? It takes forever to get copper. You know what I mean? If I have it my own ores, then people won't associate their in-game progression as much, right? I'll always have those people being like, oh, this mod sucks because I got to iron and steel, but I barely scratched the surface of magic. You know, like, I can't help them play better. But it may help me later down the line. So I could do like an orichalcum, another metal, and then end with like a void, like hard to get metal. My thaumium, you know? Which means, and maybe I could make something with like meteoric iron. I don't know. I feel like meteoric iron's cool. I don't want to force using it though. Maybe it could be another type of cap you could use. I don't know. At that point, why bother putting something like that in? You know, just to add complexity. Alright. Jeez, I'm a little past my time. I gotta start cooking dinner. Pause that. So I got a couple big questions to ask myself now. I need to ask myself, what are my metal tiers for this mod? You know, what are the metals going to be? I also need to ask myself, I need to come up with a definitive solution here. Is Viz going to be chunk-based, or is Viz going to be node-based? And there are huge pros and cons to each one, right? If it's chunk-based, then, you know, I can always see, the thing is, it's just like a different way of doing it. Like, it's going to be more stationary. You'll have to put blocks inside of a chunk. Unfortunately, chunk base, a big drawback of chunk base is going to be if you ended up building your house at this weird chunk fault line, or if you didn't, for instance, you have a little hut or something and you have all your magical stuff in one chunk, you could end up royally screwing yourself because things aren't super spread out. You know, but if I go with like a node-based system, then you can kind of have a node farm and create nodes and merge them, and you know, it's going to be a little more fluid, as in you don't really need to line up things based on chunk lines as you're building. But it's going to be more resource management. So, you know, I don't know. But I need to make a decision on that. It's got to be one or the other. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, who is actually playing? Find bronze cap, the tin copper alloy. Find the right merchant to buy the bronze or copper tools, or find one in an urn chest. That is the base point. Makes some of the early game easier. Yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking, more I'm thinking about it, the more I think I'm going to have my own metal. Just because I don't want in-game progression to, like, hinder your early experience, right? In Minecraft, it makes sense to make it iron. Iron's stupid easy to get, right? Like, I can create a cobblestone pickaxe, and then I can get iron from a mountainside. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's easier to get than copper is. You know what copper in VS. So I'm gonna need a metal, and maybe it could be like the first thing you do with alchemy, right? Is to get orichalcum. And maybe you get that from using Quicksilver and something else, and dissolving Quicksilver into components. And yeah, I don't know. I have zero preference for which to use because I've played with both and enjoyed both. Thaumcraft progression in node-based versions had way more a way to move nodes from the farm. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking too. Like if it's node-based, I can give you a way to like store a node, right? And then I think it'd be kind of cool the whole like damaging a node and then that node maybe leaking flux, and then that flux could, like interact with like the grid as well, like your chunk grid, um and then kind of like spill out, to like the chunks around it, like, that are connecting it. But I'm not really sure what something like that would look like. But I definitely would like the idea of, like, I mean, making a node's easy. That's just going to be a block entity, and you place it down, and it's going to be a node of, whatever. And then maybe a way to, like, create new nodes, combine nodes together. But yeah, I'm leaning more towards nodes, but I'm open to the idea of having it be chunk based. Because I think both systems sound pretty cool. Alright, Vintage Story. Who is playing? Mischief of Mice. My man. We are raiding old Mr. Mouse here. Old Mischief. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Again, a lot of these streams, like in the beginning, these streams are going to be more like creating basic items. Maybe one good night, like maybe tonight if I'm not feeling super tired, I could maybe just stay up a little later and get all of the basic items in, so I can start actually piecing things together and starting to make the more complex systems like nodes. And then having the wand item actually interact with the node, and then storing, viz onto a wand, and then separating out the tags. And you know what I mean? But in order to do that stuff, I need some of the very basics, right? For alchemy, I'm gonna need my crucible. I'm not gonna call it a crucible because it's already taken in this game, so I'm gonna come up with another name for it. I want my version of like niter, like I want the whole, like, the way you boil the pot. Like I like a lot of those ideas, and I'm gonna be using them. But thank you everyone. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Zalsect, if you got more ideas, throw them in the supporter channel. I'm gonna be watching that religiously. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Talk to y'all later. Bye. Adios. See you later. Bye.